It's almost here. It's really the final quarter of the year. Are you ready to finish strong? Are you ready to finish smart? Stay tuned and we'll help you do just that.
Welcome to the WorkHARDAholic Show with your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, Shirley Crawford, author, speaker, and small business consultant for over 20 years, helping you to work hard, play harder, and business better.
Hello, and welcome back to WorkHARDaholics with your favorite WorkHARDaholic, or at least the original WorkHARDaholic, Shirley Crawford. Okay, we're in November. It's the end of the year. Everyone's talking either about Black Friday specials or sales or other things, but for your business, what's your real game plan? I want us all to make sure that we finish this year strong and smart. So we always talk about SMART goals, and SMART being specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Have you thought about what that means for your business? So there are a couple things that we're going to cover today. One, I want to talk about some funding opportunities. So make sure you're listening all the way to the end there to hear those. I want to talk about resources for your business. Some of them we've mentioned before, but for a lot of us, here's the real deal. You hear information and you only can take in what you can deal with at that moment. So I want to make sure that your memories are refreshed to know that these are things you can access to help you better grow, sustain, and be more successful in your business. Okay, so speaking of those types of resources, I want to start off with the reminder that we've shared about some of the programs that we're doing here at the Women's Business Center RVA, located at 1510 Willow Drive, direct across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. That's exactly how I'm used to saying it because that's what it is. Okay. So a lot of times when we're dealing and talking to entrepreneurs and you all are out there doing some amazing things, and a lot of times you know your product, you know your service, you know what you do, but you might not always know how to run the business itself, right? And so for some of us, there are things that we're great at and then other things that we can't stand. I say it all the time. I really can't stand the accounting aspect of business, and it shows up in a very negative way. So this is why you need to have a team that'll either keep you in line or have those resources available to you to do what needs to be done. One of the resources that we're providing for our community, so if you're in Richmond, Virginia, even if you're not, you can actually Zoom in to participate. A lot of times, as a small business owner, you might not have money for a small business consultant. That might just seem like a far-fetched idea to you. And you're like, well, I don't know. And I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know how to learn more because I don't have the budget for it. Well, that's why we're providing what we call the WBC RVA Toolkit. If you're coming to me directly or to one of our consultants directly, we are hundreds of dollars per hour, and we're worth it. We're worth a whole lot more than that. But when you're getting started, that seems like an awful lot. So that is why we have introduced the toolkit. The toolkit is you get to come in and co-work every Thursday. If you're online, you can come and do it virtually. Every second Thursday, we offer a seminar. And then on every fourth Thursday, except for months like this one, where the fourth Thursday is Thanksgiving or a holiday, then we do group coaching. So thus far, it started back, it kicked off in October. So we've done the Canvas model business plan, the Canvas business model plan. I don't know why I never say that right. Because it's like a one-page version of a business plan. So for those of you who are like, I don't want to write a 40-page business plan, we don't want you to write a 40-page business plan. But if you're looking for partners, for funding, there are certain things you need, and the business plan is one of them. But in the meantime, for the operation of your business, just to get going, that one-page Canvas model business plan is quite exceptional to make sure you at least know the major 9 categories for the things pertaining to your business. And at least have that, scratch the surface so you can know at least who's your target market. How are you different than the next person? How are you making money? All that good information. And you might not dig down as deep as you would with your real business plan, but it's a great start. So we did that one October. We've also done Starting Your Business, 5 Steps to Start Your Business the Right Way. And then next month, for December, as a matter of fact, we're having a vision board event. And so I don't know about you all, but vision boards are like a really big deal for me because they really help me cast my eyes toward what it is that I want to accomplish, what I'm looking to do. And then we do a little differently. We don't just do the vision board, we do the goal setting along with it. And so admittedly, it won't be the whole weekend that I sometimes offer. It'll be a few hours, but it'll be enough for you to take this final quarter and really figure out what's going to happen for the closing of this game. Right? We're going to rally to the end of the year and be ready to start next year the way it ought to be. So that's the toolkit. Did I mention it's only $25 a month? I have to pause after that because I know it's ridiculously low, but we're not doing it to make money. We're doing it to help more people. And so, as we say for consulting, as I said, it's a little more pricey than that to have me one-on-one or to have our other consultant one-on-one who helps with this program. But now you can come in, have this group impact, be working towards your goals, making sure you're checking off the things that you need to in the right way and the right order so that you can have a prosperous, we can say it, blooming business that's not going to end in 3 years and not going to end in 5 years, but it's going to go on as long as you want it to go on. So that's the toolkit. You can still register. I believe you can go to the website or actually you can give the office a call, 804-921-3844, or you can email me, DM me. We'll connect you the way that you need to be connected. Also, pretty excited because we have some upcoming courses that are going to become available. For those of you who participated in the retreat, thank you so very much. We're super excited about it. It is, of all the things I've done, it's probably the best thing I've ever done. And so super excited about it, super proud of it. And now we're actually, depending on when you watch this, where the sale is going to be happening for the retreat for next year. You can also go buy some of the other courses. So it's a lot, but it's super exciting. And I'm looking forward to you all having it who weren't able to be with us. It was an amazing time. Soon enough, the testimonials will be up. You can go watch it. You can go see some more information. But really proud of not only the event and all that it accomplished, but to see the results from those who attended, like to really see the changes in people. And I love it because like they still post about it. They're still sharing about things that they're doing that they got from the retreat itself. So it was an amazing time. And I want you to have that time as well. So fellas, sorry, you're not welcome. It's not for you. It's just for our divas. And diva stands for doing it very authoritatively. So it's just for the ladies. Basically, by the time you hear or see this, you should be able to go on and get your ticket to participate for next year. And super, super excited about that. So once again, I want you to stay tuned because we're going to talk a little bit more about some small business resources wherever you are. If you're within the United States, these resources are good for you. And then we also want to talk about some current funding that's out there that we hope you're aware of. And if not, it should give you a good idea about how you should research to find out more about resources that are available to you for your business in your area. All right. So stay tuned. Right after this commercial break, we'll be right back with that information.
Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at WBCRVA.com or on social media at WBC RVA.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, so we've been talking about how you can get that final of the end of the year rally going to finish the year strong, to finish the year smart. And we always say it was smart goals, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. So I know it's been a little while, but we talked about eons ago, I think even when the television show at least first kicked off, the first episode, we talked about the alphabet soup of small business resources. And so because it's been a while, and when I get questions from you all, you're asking me things that I know, like we covered that already. So I want to remind you all, possibly for once it goes on YouTube, we'll make sure to make a link to the show that talks about this. But for now, I just want to remind you about some of the resources that are available to you as an entrepreneur, as a wannapreneur, as a solopreneur. That means somebody who you want to get started, you're working on your own, or you have a much bigger company, corporation, but you're still a small business owner, there are a lot of resources that are available to you, some of which are free. Y'all know I love free, or extremely reasonable, or some of them are so important that it doesn't matter how much it costs. Just the bottom line. So I want to go through the alphabet soup one more time, and then I'm going to direct you all over to our YouTube channel where the whole piece resides. We were really fortunate. We were able to get in some of the directors, executive directors of these agencies, and they came over and shared about what they offered to small business owners, and they really helped us to clarify the difference between them, right? So a lot of times when I'm talking, I'm like, oh yeah, just go to the SEC, or the SBSD or the SBSD, SBDC, all of the alphabets. They're all in there, right? So I want to remind you all of the major alphabet soup. And you can find these normally in any state or city within the United States anyway. If you're outside of the States, I know we have some people who watch us in India and Brazil and some other places, and we're glad to have you, but these might not pertain to you per se. Okay, so starting off with those resources, the SBSD, Small Business Supplier Development, is a state agency. And so it's really it's from the federal to the state. And so they have amazing resources. One of which that I always love to share is that if you are looking to be SWAM certified, I know, more alphabet, small, women, and or minority. If you're looking to be SWAM certified, then that's done through the SBSD, okay? And so there are other certifications that you can get federally, but these are the ones that are state by state. And so with the SBSD, it's once again, it's federal, it comes down to the state. It's a state level of federal programming, okay? And so the services that they provide are, listen up, free. So they will help you get SWAM certified. Also, there's some other certification that they'll help you with. And some people say, well, why does SWAM certification matter? It matters for a lot of reasons. So if a state agency, and I always say it's best to do business with the government because they're going to pay you. Shut down or no, eventually they will pay you. Whereas, if you're dealing with another mom and pop, you're dealing with another corporation, they may or may not pay. So if you're looking for that guaranteed pay, dealing with the state is always an amazing way to go. All right. And so you get registered, you have the SWAM certification. And so a state agency can then do business with you directly without having to do an RFP if the dollar amount is small enough. Right. I always forget if it's 2,500 or 25,000. I'm going to go with 2,500 for now. If it's less than $2,500 and they want to work with you, they can work with you without doing an RFP. They don't have to send out this massive request through EVA if you're in Virginia. Every state has their own procurement system. For the state of Virginia, it's called EVA. And so when you register in EVA, then you register as a SWAM certified business, a veteran-owned business, a minority-owned business, whatever kind of business you are. And so when the vendors are looking to find, what they're looking for, they can look for you. They can look for your product. They can look by your NAICS, your NEXT codes, to see if you provide what they're looking for. So it's just one way for you to get access to, bigger agencies and companies to do business with because you're already in the system. So that SWAM certification that you get from the SBSD, you can just go to their website, or if you are in Richmond, Virginia, or the metropolitan Richmond area, you can contact Randy Brown directly. So each region has their own representative within the state. So within the state of Virginia, I think we have either 7 or 9. And so each one represents their region within the state. You can contact them directly. They will help you register for EVA. They will help you get SWAM certification. They'll help you better understand how to utilize EVA correctly. So the beautiful thing about EVA is that you can go in and you can actually see who's looking for what, who they bought it from the last time, what they paid for it, and who they use. That's information that you can't get anywhere. Like in any other place, that'd be considered illegal. But for the state, it's public information. Okay, I got more resources. Let me quickly go through them. So the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, all right? And so we have one in Richmond. There's one for the state of Virginia. There's at least one for each state. There's no guarantee that every city has one. but they do some amazing things. So when you register with the SBDC, all right, they have access to business plan software. They will assign you a consultant. They have a lot of the software that I never want to pay for. They have all of it. They have all of it. And so it's a wonderful organization. And once again, it's free. They offer courses, seminars, etc. The SBA, which I think confuses a lot of people because they assume that the SBA, the Small Business Administration, there's federal, there's state, etc. A lot of people assume that's where you go for consulting. No, when you go to them for consulting, they're going to send you to someone like me, all right, or to the Women's Business Center in particular. So they don't do the consulting. They do a lot. They do a lot of the macro and not the micro. So they do a lot of the oversight about, well, where are funds needed and what's going on here. But they are the backers of funding. So when we talk about SBA backed loans, that's the main thing that we always think about for the SBA. But they are a resource gatherer, resource sharer, but not necessarily a resource with regards to you're looking to have a consultant or something along those lines for your business. Okay. And then I want to share one more. So if you are looking at federal, I talked about state, but if you're looking to do business with the federal government, I know right now we're still going, are we shutting down or not? Either way, when it's over, they'll have the money again. If you want to do business with the federal government, it used to be you would register with PTAC, but now that name has changed to APEX. All right, you can just Google it, APEX. And just like the SD will help you register with EVA, then APEX will help you register with SAM, or for you to be able to do business with the federal government. Whew, okay, that was a lot. Once again, if you really want to get the meat of that, you can go back and check our YouTube channel because we have an interview with the directors, executive directors of each of those agencies, and they talk a lot more about what they do and how that can be a resource for you. Okay, stay tuned. Come right back after these commercials because we're going to talk about some places that you can look for funding for your business.
In honor of the Women's Business Center RVA 5-year anniversary, the countdown is on. Ladies, it's time for the WBC RVA Toolkit. You don't want to miss it. It means every Thursday you co-work not for free, but it's included. So that's co-working every Thursday. Each month there's one seminar and one group coaching. So all day Thursday you can come hang out here at the Women's Business Center RVA, and it's just $25 a month. Tell them about it, Joanne.
Yes. And a couple of the topics that we will be talking about, discussing and reviewing and going through are starting a business the right way, because we do want to start off the right way. We're also going to talk about a business model canvas and how your company creates value for its customers. Also goal setting, which is very important. Finances, even developing your pitch, also social media distribution and content, and much, much more. So we are excited about seeing you there. So you can register today at WBCRVA.com.
All righty, let's get to the real fun part of this whole conversation. It's great that you're preparing for the end of the year, and I know that's lovely. It's great that we have some resources available to you, but hey, most of us, we want to know about the money. And so that's what I want to share. So before we even get into where you could potentially find some money for your business, the first question is, are you ready to get the money? So we've talked about this before with regards to when it was time for PPP loans. A lot of us don't have our banking information together. We don't have the right reports in order. We don't have things in order to be able to access funds. So I want to make sure that you're starting from the basics. So you want to make sure that you have your profit and loss statements, that you actually have cash flow reports, that have you filed your taxes? Do you have all that information in place? Do you have a business banking account? That seems like a silly question to ask, but I've learned that a lot of people are still doing it through their personal. As someone who has had to clean up a lot of their financial information, you don't want to do it. So it's really good for you to take your EIN, which means I'm talking to you who are not sole proprietors. If you are a sole proprietor, I highly recommend that you go ahead and bite the bullet, get your LLC, get a B Corp, C Corp. I don't even care. Just you want the additional security and the of decreased liability with having some type of being incorporated. Okay. Then get your EIN, take that information, open your business banking account. Okay. And then while you're looking for that banker, feel free. You can actually DM me or send us a message somehow, email at admin@workhardaholics.com. And I will send you my questions to ask your potential banker. So I have a list, I think it's like 25 questions to ask. So we don't just go to a bank and say, please give us an account. No, we do our homework. We date for our businesses, if you've heard me talk about that before. And so I have these questions that you should be asking to make sure that you have the right bank for the right relationship. Because when it's time for funding, when it's time for things to happen, your bank should be thinking about you. Your bank should actually reach out to you and say, hey, we have these dollars. Hey, so-and-so has this grant. Hey, we know you do this work. Here's another partner potentially for you. And if that sounds like Greek to you, like you're like, my bank would never do that, then you have the wrong bank. Period. Okay. So send us that message. We'll send you a list of questions you should be asking. Okay. So now let's really get down to it. So when we talk about money, we have the options of loans, grants. All right. We know loans you have to pay back, grants you don't. That's really the bottom line. I said it before, I'll say it again. Grants are not a normal thing for a standard for-profit business. They're not. So if you're a for-profit business, you're like, I want a grant. That's nice. We are fortunately in a season where that's happening, but there's a reason why it's happening. There are grants happening because we've had so much social unrest, that that it's been recognized that there's so much inequality with regards to women and minorities. And we've had COVID. And so the government is trying to assist us in being back on our feet, and so are other organizations. So there have been more grants than usual. But if you're receiving a grant, I need you to know that's not a business plan. It's not your financial plan for your business. It's a temporary, benefit, bonus, boon, however you take it. But recognize that you can't sit around going, I'm going to have this grant each year. Even if you're a nonprofit, you don't want to bank on grants, because once again, they're contingent on funding from someplace else. So you might get this grant that funds your business for 3 years, and then year 4, you don't get it. Are you prepared for that? Do you then have to fire everybody and shut your doors? Like, be prepared to know that grants are not sustainable. They're just not. Okay. With that in mind, though, I do want to talk about some funding options. One of them I want to start with is actually a loan. Loan is not a dirty word if you remember to pay it back. Not a dirty word at all. Okay. So there are they're relatively new to me. I hadn't heard about them. And they're called Community Business Partnership Loans. And so they are provided through the Community Business Partnership Business Finance Center. And so what's really interesting is that they're not a traditional loan. The whole point of them is that they recognize that a lot of small business owners can't get a loan. Like, it's just not happening for you. And so they provide you with seminars and workshops and information to help you get to the point of being able to get a loan to help with your small business. All right. So once again, those are called CBP, the Community Business Partnership Loan, and they're offered through the SBA. So in case you were listening and going, that doesn't sound real, it's the SBA. It's real. Okay. So that's part of their micro loan fund. Okay. Then there's also the Nova Freedom Fund. I'm just listing some. So that Nova means you're in Northern Virginia, in case you're curious. That's a freedom fund in Northern Virginia. I'm just going to list some out. And then if you want to go over, once it's posted on YouTube, I will put the links there. So if you want to visit in maybe a week or so, I think YouTube goes like the Wednesday after, this information will be there for you. Okay. Then there's also the Fairfax County Small Business Revolving Loan Fund. And then outside of that, there is HERRISE, HERRISE micro grant. It's a monthly award. And another one that I have seen giving out actually a pretty good, decent amount of money is the AMBER grant, AMBER, AMBER grant. Okay. And then the SoGal Foundation grant. And what's interesting about the SoGal, it's for women. And so what's interesting about it is that you write a little paragraph or so about like why you're worthy of the grant. And then Each month they select a winner. Some other options that you may or may not know about. FedEx has an entrepreneur fund. And then, of course, GoFundMe is not just for you to go do a GoFundMe account. They also have a small business relief fund. There is, for those of you in Northern Virginia, once again, the Northern Virginia Incumbent Worker Training Grants. The City of Manassas has some cash grants. National Association for the Self-Employed, NASE, has growth grants. And then one of the ones I think people sleep on as a company in general is called NAV, N-A-V, Quarterly Small Business Grant. Here's the thing to know about NAV. If you are a small business owner, you know that I've talked a lot about credit because I have my credit certification, credit repair specialist certification. And so and I've mentioned before, the only reason that I do that is really because when I'm dealing with small business owners and they're trying to have funding or they're not able to pay employees, and we go, oh, well, if you had the credit, you could go get a loan or you could get a line of credit. And so, but that initially goes to your personal credit. So if your personal credit isn't in order, then it's hard for you to get business credit. Once you get the business credit established, you can build more. But when we're talking about building the business credit, one of the organizations that really helps with that is NAV, N-A-V. I am not affiliated. I get nothing from telling you this other than the satisfaction of you having good information. So NAV is a way for you to be able to see your business credit profile. So for those of business credit, like personal credit, you know Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, you know all that. I hope you know all that. But do you know where to look for your business credit? Well, if you've been watching the show, you do, because I've told you before. But NAV is another one of those resources. And then like Credit Karma, I'll say, or Equifax Plus, they have tools and guidelines and recommendations on how you can improve your business credit. They also have accounts that you can pay for that will help you even further with your business credit. So that's information that you can utilize. So that once again, that's NAV itself, but they also have a quarterly small business grant. And then there is Southern Opportunity and Resilience Fund, SOAR. Have you all seen that? SOAR, S-O-A-R. I see it all the time. And then if you're really looking for grants, you're like, I want grants, I'm determined to have grants, then the places you can look are grants.gov, sam.gov, Open Grants, and Grant Watch. Okay, so those are just some of the funding resources that you can look into. We really want to make sure that you start off 2024 with all that you have to give and that you end 2023 strong and smart. Okay, that's it for today. As we always say, live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta.
Like, share, subscribe, repeat. Like, share, subscribe, repeat. Repeat. Thanks for tuning in to WorkHARDaholics. Support our show by following on YouTube and all major social media platforms at WorkHARDaholic. Until next week, happy entrepreneuring.